All right, today we're diving into the beautiful, strategic world of Cascadia. It's a game all about tile laying and drafting where you, yes you, get to build your very own slice of the Pacific Northwest. So, let's get into it and figure out exactly how to create that perfect, harmonious ecosystem and, win the game.
So in Cascadia, you're not just, playing a game. You're basically becoming an architect of nature. You're going to be piecing together this vibrant mosaic of sprawling forests, towering mountains, and these rushing rivers. And then into that world, you get to introduce all the iconic wildlife of the region. It's all about creating your own personal ecosystem that really feels alive.
And this quote right here from the rulebook is basically your guiding star. Your goal is to create the most harmonious ecosystem. See, this isn't just about randomly slapping down pieces. Nope, it's a really deep strategic puzzle. You have to constantly balance what the land needs with what the animals need to live there. That's how you're going to rack up the highest score.
Okay, so how do we actually build this world? Well, the whole game really revolves around two core components. Two main things you'll be grabbing and placing turn after turn.
Okay, so here are your building blocks. On one hand, you've got these hexagonal habitat tiles. Just think of these as your canvas, right? They're the mountains, the forests, the rivers of your world. And then, on the other hand, you have the wildlife tokens. These are the animals that are going to bring that canvas to life. The whole game, and I mean this, is this delicious puzzle of trying to manage both of these layers at the very same time.
And here they are, the stars of the show. You're going to be making homes for these 5 iconic animals. And believe me, this is where the game gets really interesting. Why? Because each animal scores points in a completely different way. That's what turns every single game into a brand new puzzle. So let's meet them. We've got bears, elk, salmon, hawks, and foxes.
Okay, let's get this thing out of the box and onto the table. What's great is that setting up Cascadia is super quick, and it actually creates a unique challenge every single time you play.
So first up, you make a big stack of habitat tiles. How many? Well, that just depends on how many people are playing. Next, and this is super important, probably the most crucial part of setup, you randomly draw one scoring card for each of the 5 animals. That specific combo of cards, that's the unique puzzle you're trying to solve for this game. After that, it's simple. Everyone gets a starting tile, and you lay out a market of 4 tiles, pairing each one with a random wildlife token you pull from a bag.
Okay, the board is set, the market is open, it's time to play. So what do you actually do on your turn? Well, it's beautifully simple.
So the whole gameplay loop is just wonderfully simple and elegant. You look at the market and you choose one of the 4 available pairs. That's one habitat tile and the wildlife token it's sitting with. Then you place that tile into your growing map. And finally, you place the wildlife token. That's it. Seriously, that's your whole turn. It's this really satisfying, straightforward process, but trust me, it's hiding a ton of strategic depth.
But you know this is going to happen, right? You'll be staring at the board and the one tile you desperately need is paired with a token you absolutely can't use. Or, the other way around. It happens constantly. But don't worry, the game has a fantastic solution for this exact problem.
Say hello to the nature token. This little pine cone? It's going to be your best friend. Think of it as your tool for bending the rules. If you spend one, you can do one of 2 amazing things. First, you can just ignore the pairs and take any tile and any token from the market. Total freedom. Or, if all the animal tokens out there are just useless to you, you can spend one to wipe them clean and draw 4 new ones from the bag. It's all about giving you that extra bit of control right when you need it most.
Okay, placing your habitat tile is super simple. It just has to be touching a tile you've already placed. And what's really interesting here is that you don't have to match the terrain types. You can totally place a forest right next to a mountain. But, and this is a big but, you're going to score a ton of points for making the biggest possible connected areas of the same habitat type. So you've got this constant tension between just placing the tile and creating those valuable corridors. Now, placing the wildlife token, this is where the real brain-burning puzzle kicks in. Okay, so it has to go on an empty habitat tile, and, this is obvious, that tile has to have a little picture of that animal on it. But here's the really cool part. You don't have to place the token on the tile you just took. You can place it on any other empty, legal tile anywhere in your entire map. And that right there opens up some really clever plays. All right, so after 20 turns, the game's over. Your personal ecosystem is complete. You've got this sprawling, beautiful landscape in front of you, and now comes the fun part, adding it all up. Let's see how all those little decisions you made translate into big points. So your final score is basically a mix of 4 different things. First, and this is where the bulk of your points are probably going to come from, are those wildlife scoring cards we set up at the beginning.
Second, you score points for your largest connected area or corridor of each of the 5 habitat types. Third, you get some sweet bonus points if your corridors are bigger than everyone else's at the table. And finally, any of those little nature tokens you didn't spend, they're worth 1 point each. Easy peasy.
So let's break down how these animals score, because each one has its own little personality. Bears, for example, are kind of social, but they also really like their personal space. So the bear scoring cards will usually reward you for creating small family groups like pairs, while making sure those pairs aren't right next to any other pairs.
Salmon, as you might guess, want to swim together. You're going to score points by creating these long, continuous runs of salmon. And a run is just a line of adjacent salmon, kind of like they're flowing through the river tiles in your ecosystem. The longer the chain, the more points you get.
Then you've got elk. Elk are all about traveling in herds, and for them, it's all about specific shapes. Their scoring cards will literally show you a pattern, maybe a straight line of 4 elk, for example, and your job is to perfectly recreate that shape with your elk tokens to score those points.
Hawks are pretty much the exact opposite of salmon. They're solitary hunters. They do not want to be next to each other. So you'll score points for every hawk that has no other hawks in any of its adjacent tiles. They want a nice, clear view of their territory, and you get rewarded for giving them that space.
And finally, we have the clever, adaptable fox. Foxes are all about variety. They score points based on the unique animals that are surrounding them. So a fox that's next to a bear, a salmon, and an elk is going to be worth a lot more points than a fox that's just next to 2 bears. The more diversity around them, the better.
And here's what it all looks like when you add it up. Take a look at this sample score. So Jade scored pretty well on all the animals, right? 11 points for bears, 14 for elk, pretty balanced. But look closer. What's the biggest chunk of her score? It's the 31 points from her habitats and having the majority. And that is such a key takeaway. You can't just focus on the animals. A winning strategy means you have to balance the needs of all the animals while also building those huge, dominant habitats.
But what if you want to switch things up a bit? Well, one of the awesome things about Cascadia is that it has built-in ways to tweak the experience. So whether you're looking for something a little simpler or even a bit more of a challenge, the game's got you covered.
And this slide really shows off how accessible the game is. See, the standard game is all about that endless replayability, mixing and matching those scoring cards to get a new puzzle every time. But the family variant, it simplifies all of that by using just one static scoring card. The goals never change. This makes it the absolute perfect way to introduce new players or, younger family members to the game without totally overwhelming them.
So there you have it. That's the blueprint for Cascadia. It's a game of really simple turns that build and build into this complex, beautiful, and deeply satisfying puzzle. Every single tile you place, every animal you position, it's a choice that shapes your world. So the only real question left is, what kind of ecosystem would